What's up, everybody? I'm sorry we had some technical difficulties. We had a power outage at the office yesterday, and so we had to reboot everything. However, we are now live on Instagram to my left, on Facebook. Hey to everybody that is joining on. I have a very special guest with us today that's going to be discussing Instagram stories. So let me pop her on. Hey.
Hey, how are ya?
I'm doing great. Yourself?
I am good.
Awesome. Sorry about all the issues we had. We're a few minutes behind, so why don't you just tell us your name, tell us where you're at, and just a brief little bit about yourself.
Sure, I am Gogo. You can find me under Gogos Real Estate pretty much anywhere, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that. My real name is not Gogo. I'm Hungarian by nationality. I moved to the US about 15 years ago. My real name is so impossible that I literally just, my host parents, I came as an au pair. So my host parents asked me if they can call me Gogo, so it's stuck, and now I go as Gogo in the real estate industry. I'm in Michigan. I run physically a team here in Michigan, but because of my reach due to social media, I refer a lot of business out pretty much anywhere nationally or internationally as well.
Sweet. So we're talking about Instagram stories, and I want to go just a little bit more in depth on Instagram stories. I've talked Instagram stories before, where to find the stories, how to, kind of set them up. But I wanted to talk about one thing in specific, which is polls, because I see that you do use polls a lot. And if there's something that you're doing differently in polls, or are you just using them, or how are you utilizing those to your advantage?
I don't know if it's for my advantage, besides the fact that I just want to know what people think.
Okay.
And instead of them having to message me and then I end up with hundreds of messages in my inbox with their opinion, then I have to read it all. Usually I set it up with a question of yes and no answer. So then I can see what people think. You know what I mean? With just a click versus an actual message that ends up in my DM.
Got it. And as people pop on, I see we have Tony, Kelly, Shannon, Nicole, Danya, Albert, Fred, tons and tons of people. If you guys have any specific questions about Instagram stories, definitely post a comment here. If you can hear us, we had some I had some difficulties. Definitely leave a comment so that way I know that I'm not talking to a brick wall. Again, we're talking about Instagram stories. So leave any questions, comments, concerns, complaints, whatever you want.
Fine, but maybe we want to start with the first poll of the day and see if they can hear us or not.
Yeah. So that's your first poll. And then after this poll, you're actually going to go to the polls and you're going to vote, because today.
So you did already.
Look at that. Look at that.
Morning was phone call, but I'm definitely going after I get back home today.
Perfect. So I'm actually going to bring up your Instagram on screen, and hopefully we can get this to pop up. So I have your Instagram on screen actually, and it is solo. So this is Gogo's Instagram, like she was talking about. For those of you that are on Instagram, you can see this on the desktop version on Facebook, but this is her Instagram. And I wanted to bring it up because, again, she's using stories to a high level. And I'm just going to click on these stories and just kind of just let a couple of them go through. It's kind of funny when you're looking at your own stuff, huh?
I'm like, oh, that's what you guys see?
The realtor breakfast on the go. Love it.
Oh, in the car. Yeah, you have to, I still have to eat. I just don't have time. I usually make it and run and shove it in my mouth in the car.
Got it. Yeah, so here's an example of a poll that she just used, which is, do you like TBE new yard sign design? And just a couple of
changed, and some people's opinion on it.
Kurt approves, so fix me here. Over there. There's looking for agents to join our Novi group. So if you're an agent, you have been in the business for 1 to 2 years, you have some experience but not enough, and you want to take it to the next level, we need you.
Awesome. So they saw a couple of different stories. Is there any specific story, or what would be a recommendation as far as something that might be working for you, as far as, is it polls? Is it just posting? Is it videos? Is it pictures? Is it GIFs? Is there anything specific that you would recommend?
I notice sometimes if I have time, I'll go back and see how my videos do, because when you are your own, when you're watching your own, in the very bottom, it will show you how many people actually watched it. And then that will give you a clue of like, okay, should I keep doing this? I shouldn't be doing this. This is not working. This is working. So I do see there are certain hashtags, when you add certain hashtags to the video, that it's actually more people get to see it. I didn't know that for a very long time when I was doing the stories, that hashtags actually do something. I'm just so used to hashtagging because it's Instagram that I would just throw it in there. But I didn't realize until I noticed on one of my video that had over, I don't even know, 5,000 views or so. I was like, oh my gosh, so hashtags do work on the Instagram story. So I think that's important. But I think most important is just to be you. People don't want to see the next house on the market. If somebody's, I'm a realtor. You know what I mean? So why would anybody follow me, especially if they're not even in Michigan? If I post the next house every single time, I'm going to lose my followers.
Definitely. And we did have a question actually come through, and Danya asked, do you plan out stories like you can plan out posts, or are you just doing them on the fly?
No, so many people ask me that question. I am not a planner. I am the kind of wing it kind of person. And no, absolutely not. I have no idea what I'm going to post tomorrow. Not a clue. Whatever the days bring, I pretty much just post whatever is going on in my little business or my life. Sometimes I don't mix too much personal in there. I usually post between 10 and 3. If you see that after I pick my kids up, I'm kind of done for the day. I'm a mom of 2, so I pick them up, I drop them off every single day. I'm not the type of realtor that works 24/7. So you will see me, my business hours are about 10 to 3. You see my posts around that time, and when I pick the kids up, I'm done. So I try not to mix the two. I think, and I don't want to sound harsh or whatever, but I don't want to see other people's kids. I have my own. So I think that's how people are.
Okay.
They want to see your business. So I am posting under a business that's called Gogos Real Estate. I'm not posting under Gogo. You know what I mean? So I still have personal. I have a personal Instagram, a personal Facebook, but I mix the two.
So why don't we talk about that? So on your Instagram, you have a business page and you have a personal page, and you're saying that you recommend, let's say, 75% business on the business page and 25% more?
9% business,
okay.
10% personal. I do want my followers to know me, who I am, but they get to know me anyway because I post so much. You know what I mean? They get to know my business side. Like I am total. Have you ever taken a DISC assessment?
I have.
So you know how you're different at home versus at business?
I definitely.
So I feel like people know me who I am as a businesswoman. They don't know me who I am at home.
Got it.
Who I am with my best friends when we are goofing around. Or if you're having a good Saturday night. And
so when you say that you do post some of the personal stuff, can you give us an example of some of the personal stuff you might be posting in the stories per se?
Yeah. So for example, Sunday, we had a family day. We went with the kids shooting. So I shot 2 AR-15s and an old 22 Marlin. So I'm kind of a girly girl, but also in the same time, don't mess with me. Like I can shoot an AR-15. So I will post stuff like that so they get to know the real me, you know what I mean? And a little bit of my family and how we're spending a Sunday night. But I don't usually post more than, I would say, maybe 10% of my home life.
Have you ever had any of your followers reach out to you to post any specific things? That was one of the questions that came in on Instagram from Brant. Anybody requesting specific things to post?
Yeah. Sometimes it just depends. Sometimes it's a brand new agent. Hey, where do I even start? Sometimes it's, I've been in a business for 2 years. I'm kind of stuck. Do you have any recommendations? Or, how did you grow your social media so much? I have them reach out all the time. And if it's the same question over and over again, if it's just a simple question, I can just message back to you. I'll do all my responses myself yet. It's going to change next year because it's just getting to the point where I can't get back to everybody. So I hired an assistant who's going to respond to all the messages. If it's a specific question that gets asked over and over and over again, then I will create a post. So for example, I use a company, actually, to be honest with you, I don't even know what the company is called, but the guy I use for growth, his name is Dallas. And people ask me all the time, how do you grow your Instagram? So if I have that question over and over again, I'll throw Dallas's phone and I ask Dallas, hey, can I put your phone number on Instagram? 22,000 people. And then he said, yeah. So once in a blue moon, I post his number, because if I'm getting the same question over and over again, I don't have the time to answer it. So then I'll just create a quick post and say, this is who I use for my Instagram growth. Give him a call. Here's his phone number.
Got it. Got it. Okay. There's tons of realtors that are watching this. Looking at it from a real estate perspective, is there anything that you've done to actually garner business that you can directly tie back into your stories?
Funny thing is, I have never paid for a lead. I don't use Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com, none of that. All my business comes from social media.
And
my
when you
my marketing cost last year was $1,121.
Wow. That's awesome.
And that was literally like I threw $50 at a Facebook ad or $20 here, and it's just kind of like, oh, let's see what happens. Most of my stuff is organic, and I think the reason, and I also don't ask for business, so I'm not that pushy salesperson of like, do you need a house to sell? Like, do you have a cousin who needs to move? Like, I don't ever do that. I don't cold call. I don't do open houses. I don't do scripts. I don't do any of that. I literally post about what it takes to be a realtor, what my everyday life is like, being in the business. And because I do that and I do that often, people don't have a chance to forget that I'm a realtor. You know what I mean? So if you post it all the time.
Yeah. Somebody asked if you don't have any, if your marketing budget was so low, did you do any print marketing at all?
No, I don't do any pay. I don't really do marketing, to be honest with you. I don't pay. I should say that I am my own marketing. I just
so you do it, but you have vendors potentially that are covering it, or you just don't do it at all?
I just don't do anything at all.
Has that not come across in a different way for some clients when you go in there and you talk about marketing?
I mean, don't get me wrong. I market their home. I market it out of the wazoo. I pay for professional photography, videography. I post it on all my social media. Some of my videos on LinkedIn, if you go on there, as you find me Gogo Betke, I have like 20, 30,000 views on some of my videos. But what I mean is that I don't hire it out. I do it all myself, so there's no cost.
Got it. So you're not doing marketing. You're just doing it.
I don't look at it as marketing, because I'm doing it and this is what I enjoy doing. So I don't feel like I'm going out of my way of, this is not a conscious effort. You know what I mean? I just do because this is what I do. Yes, it's marketing. What I mean is I'm not throwing money into marketing to another vendor or company that in return gets me something. I don't do that. I used to have an ad at the movie theater locally. That was my most expensive marketing strategy about 2 years ago. I did it for a year and a half. I'll be honest with you, it was untrackable, so I don't know what came from it. I think what did come from it is face recognition and brand recognition. So people knew me as like, oh my gosh, I saw you at the movie theater. Kids in my kids' school thought I was famous. But I don't necessarily know if it was worth the money. But since then, I have not done anything with money.
Sweet. Brant Graves says that he would take that marketing budget all day.
Well, I did personally, I think 40 or 42 transactions last year. All of them came for free.
Nice. One of the questions that came through, you said that you were doing video. How are you utilizing those videos that you're doing for your listings, that are, maybe a few minutes long? How are you incorporating those into your stories to leverage them?
So you can watch them on YouTube. If you search Gogo Betke or Gogos Real Estate, I'm not even sure how I'm on YouTube. So usually, even though it's a marketing video of a home, I'm always in every single video. In my opinion, as a realtor, you are your business. People might watch it just because they like, who is this chick? What is she talking about? You know what I mean? Versus just looking at the next home that's pictures of interior and exterior of a home. In my opinion, that's boring. So if you're spending money on videos, which are usually a few $100s each, make sure you're in it because you are your business.
Got it. Okay. So the videos that you're in, obviously, are you uploading those also into Instagram stories? And maybe are you using like a swipe up feature to bring them to a landing page? or to a specific web page, or what is your tactic behind that?
Yeah, so usually I make all my videos less than 1 minute. So then you can post it on Instagram as well. And also I believe even the 1 minute is too long to our society. Like we are goldfish, we have the attention span of 3 seconds. So you need to have your really boom up front. You have about 10 seconds before you lost them. But you can post a video up to 1 minute on Instagram. So all my videos are usually less than 1 minute. They are professionally done. I don't do that on every listing. I only do it on the high end because that is my cost. So when I create these videos, I don't charge my sellers for it. That comes out of my profit at the end, or my commission, I should say. So I do post them everywhere in many different ways. So it goes directly onto my feed as well. It goes on LinkedIn and Facebook. I have my Facebook page. I feed those to my personal page as well. And then also I ask my clients to share it. So you always want them to share it because the more people you can reach together is the better. The more exposure, the faster it's going to sell. And it's also advertising for you, which is free advertising. So sad if they are pushing you and your brand on their platform. And then of course I do the feed on Instagram, or the story I should say on Instagram with the swipe up. I am not a fan of Zillow and Trulia and Realtor.com. I'll be honest with you, I don't buy leads from them. Yes, my listings feed to their website, but I don't buy back my potential buyers. So what I do when I share those is I give you a trick of the trade here, how you can keep your own buyers.
Okay.
I don't share the link from Zillow or the Realtor.com link. I feed all my listings onto my website. So if you go on gogosrealestate.com, you can go to my current listings and see what's going on. And I'll share that link. Now on that link, it generated to my website where I can capture them.
Got it. So let me just recap. So for her stories, what she's doing a video for her sellers. She's essentially cutting those stories up when she uses them in her Instagram, or cutting the videos up to use them in her stories. However, when she's directing people to a specific link, she is not using third-party links. Say that again?
I said, hell no.
She's using her own links. And somebody said, hey, I just looked at all of your stories. How in the hell do you have time to do that many stories?
I
don't keep it real here. This is real advice. So how do you do it?
I am as blunt. Trust me, if somebody can take someone else being blunt, that's me. Because if I can ditch it, I should be able to take it. So
there you go.
No worries whatsoever. How do I have time? That's the only thing I know how to do. Because it comes natural to me. It's not work. You know what I mean? So it's not something I plan. I'm very comfortable doing it. I literally just grab my camera and take a 10-second video and post it and done. So to be honest with you, I don't know how often I post. It's not a certain time. Some days I may have less, some days I may have more. I do make time. So today, for example, I have, I told you I have the down to the half an hour. I have 7 phone calls and I have a new construction seminar here in a minute. Then I have to go out to. And so what happens is I literally had to make a mental note of like, okay, where do I have 2 minutes to take a video and post it, because I believe that you do have to stay active on here. You can't just post one time and wait for the thousands of people to see. You know, it doesn't work like that. So when I do get very busy, I do have to like stop myself and be like, okay, what can I post about today? But most of the time, it's just, you know, I just do it.
Got it. How long did it take you to get to the point where you're at now on your Instagram stories? I'm assuming, and I'll make an assumption that when you first picked up Instagram, you didn't first grab your phone and then get to the stories like you have today. So for some of the people that are not utilizing stories, 1, how long did it take you? And 2, what would just be one piece of advice for them to just gradually increase how their stories perform?
So I started, I'll be very upfront. I shared this information many, many times before, and I'm not necessarily proud of it or ashamed of it. It is the truth. So I started both of my platforms, the pages, the Facebook page and the Instagram page for Gogos Real Estate at the same time. Facebook, I worked on forever. Instagram, I didn't do anything with it for a couple of years. I think I started it last year in like springish or so. Then I was like, okay, I should go on Instagram. And I think the reason why I do totally different things on both platforms. So on Facebook, I keep it more for my customers. And on Instagram, I talk to agents. And I don't know why I do that. It's just somehow the 2 platforms in my mind is a totally different platform. So what happened is when I started it, I was like, I need some followers. Like, I believe in order for people to take you seriously, you can't have 257 followers. You know what I mean? It just doesn't, they're like, who are you?
Yeah.
And so I Googled one night, I was like, how can you get Instagram followers? And I found this I don't remember, but it was an English, a website from England somewhere. And I was like, okay, let's give it a try. So it was like $49, I think I paid. And within 2 minutes, I had like, I don't even know, like something crazy, like 4,000 followers. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is that easy. But here's the catch though. These are Instagram accounts, but they're probably not active. Who knows if they're even alive? Like, I don't know. So you're not going to see the activity on your site. Yes, it looks like you have a lot of followers, but you're not going to see the activity on your website. And now with the new algorithm on Instagram, it's very, very important to have activity, to have the comments, to have the likes, to have not just the amount of followers, but the actual back and forth communication between them. So then I built it organically up to probably, I don't remember. I think it was 14,000 when I started working with Dallas. So I did from that 4,000 to 14,000 on my own. And that was just posts, editing some photos, using some photographer, definitely using hashtags, posting all the time, 2 or 3 times a day, doing the live stories and the videos all the time, sharing information. I think that's what helps me grow is I truly love my job. I love what I do. And I love sharing my knowledge with the people. I've been a new agent. I've been a broke agent. I know what it's like. So if I can help even 1 or 10 person a day, it makes me feel like I'm a better human. So I did that, but it's a gradual growth. So I wanted to be able to grow more aggressively. And so I don't even know how, Dallas reached out to me. I have many, different companies reach out to me to have my marketing or my Instagram growth or Facebook growth or, advertising or whatever. And I just, since I do everything myself, I didn't take them seriously. I wasn't interested, but somehow Dallas got to me. He seemed very affordable. He seemed like he knows what he's doing. I asked him for referrals and other accounts that he's working with, and he was able to do that. He provided a bunch of names. I reached out to all of them. They all spoke very highly of him. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. But here's the catch though. You have to trust someone. You literally have to give them your Instagram login because otherwise they can't do it. So who is this Dallas guy on the other end of the world? You know what I mean? So it's kind of freaky at first, but he does an amazing job. I usually grow about, I used to about 300-400 a week. And this week it's been growing, this week and last week aggressively. I'm almost at 600 for 1 week. So if this continues, I should have about 2,500 every single month. So that's what I do.
Sweet. So as a recap, and the microphone kind of sounds weird, but as a recap, use stories. You don't plan them out. Oh, there we go.
Last minute.
You use stories. You're not planning them out. You're doing them on the fly. You're doing them when you have time. You're kind of limiting the amount of personal post onto your business page because your page is specifically a business page. And so you're doing the majority of your posts during your business hours. As far as time, based off what you said, it took you about a year or just over a year to get to where you're at now. So it's not that much time that needs to get invested in. Something that you said was you are your business. So if this is something that that is working, that it's working well for other agents, then this is probably something that you need to do and incorporate into your business. You also talked about followers and the importance of having engagement on your specific post, but not only just on your post, but the engagement on your actual stories are things that are going to lead people from your stories into your page to see, hey, maybe you did something super cool in your stories, and now those people that you never connected with are now in your actual page and engaging with your post. You definitely talked about the value of having the increased amount of followers and the ability and how that all works. Is there anything with the last piece here? This show is called Real Advice, Real Estate. What would be the last piece of advice that you would give to any agent that's looking to step up their game on the stories?
I think you just have to do it. I meet so many people literally, or they message.
I can't use that because that's already trademarked. So you're gonna have to come up with something else other than just do it.
Well, the thing is, I think most of them don't realize that they are their business. You know what I mean? And you can't just post the next beautiful house. And that's my thing. They reach out to me, they ask me for advice, and then I tell them, you just have to take videos. You have to take videos. You have to start feeling comfortable. And I can't do it. Well, just do it. You get over it. You know what I mean? You will get over it. Nobody likes them. My biggest thing is like, I don't like the way I sound. I don't like the way I look. Well, don't you think the people know what you look like and sound like?
Yes, definitely.
You already know. So you are not in, you're like, this is not a big surprise. Oh my gosh, that's what I sound like and look like. That's what I sound like and look like on video or in person. You know what I mean? So just get over that. And as soon as you realize that you are your business and that you can build your cute little brand about you, people work with you not because you're, Keller Williams or you Century 21 or you Remix or you EXP or whoever. They work with you because they want to work with you.
Definitely. So we're gonna wrap it up here. And if you're not using Instagram stories, just post. Stop worrying about what you look like. I've dealt with that before. Hey, you just got to flip the camera on, turn it on, and not worry about it. If they don't like the way that you look now, they're not going to like the way that they look the way you look 6 months after working with you. Then they say that their grandma's a realtor. So just do the post. You can take it just on your regular camera roll. You don't have to be, in the Instagram app 24/7. Just as you're going throughout your day and there's things that you like or things that you want to talk about, just put them. And when you have a couple of minutes, you can just instantly put them on your stories. Thank you so much for joining us today. I greatly appreciate it. Sorry about the technical difficulties in the beginning. Again, this is Real Advice Real Estate. Today we talked about Instagram stories, why you should be using them, how you should be using them. And if you're not doing them currently, just do them. It's super easy to do. Make sure that you're following me at Jonathan Hawkins Official here on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. And you can also find our guest, Gogo, at Gogos Real Estate, which I'll put on the screen. So definitely make sure that you give her a follow. Again, if you're watching this and it's not live and you're watching it throughout the week, if you have any questions on stories, leave a comment. We'll definitely get back to you. And I appreciate you. And next week, we will be talking about how to grow your sphere from 0 to 1,000 in a new market. Take care.